Welcome to yet another beautiful story, putting issues right, where I bring you facts that you don't know. This is Katomukasa for Ubuntu Global Connect and Ubuntu Show. In this show, today, we are going to focus on none other than President Idi Amin Dada, the president of Uganda, that history has rise to power and background. Idi Amin Dada was born in 1925 in Koboko. In January 1971, Idi Amin Dada seized the presidency from Milton Obote in a coup while Obote was abroad. Initially, Idi Amin Dada was supported by Western powers like the United Kingdom and Israel. Infrastructure, hospitals, and roads were built by Idi Amin Dada. Civil administration during Amin Dada's reign remained operational. Roads were good. Hospitals had medicine and doctors. Bridges were built. Citizen services continued under functioning civil servants. According to diplomats, services like tax collection, clean streets, and even mosquito control were maintained. Local administrators were expected to estimate and deliver on Amin's promises, such as hospitals, roads, and bridges. Amin promised, and indeed, he was tough speaking, but also tough putting into action whatever he promised. Let's look at his cabinet. The cabinet composition of Amin versus the cabinet composition of Museveni's regime. Amin's early cabinet included well-educated civilians alongside military leaders. Amin had only 18 ministers. By contrast, President Museveni's cabinet has ballooned to over 70 ministers and counting. Museveni has over 200 RDCs, commissioners, and an inflated number of state house operatives, including hundreds of cooks cooking for one man, Museveni. Amin never had that. Amin had policies empowering Ugandans, and the policies did work. He had his economic war, aimed to transfer business ownership to indigenous Ugandans.
Determinations. You people must work with the determinations and all
them a middle-class status. Civil servants had cars, in fact new cars, and their children got an education. Today, in Museveni's Uganda, that is next to impossible. Let's look at Amin's diplomatic choices and Pan-African stance. Amin broke with both Israel and the United Kingdom to pursue an alignment with Libya, the Soviet bloc, and Palestinian liberation movements. His dramatic gestures included installing the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, in the former Israel embassy and supporting Palestinian causes.
You are sure that in 1967 they captured the whole Sinai. They captured the part of the Jordan. They captured most of the part of the Golan Heights. The resolution was passed here that peacefully Israel must obey that order to withdraw from all Arab territory. And this was passed by the whole United Nations member states. They refused. What can the Arab do now? On top of this, there has been bombing every day. We don't want war. We don't want destruction of Israel, but we want peace in the Middle East. But if they don't want peace, what can we do? You do. If at all I wanted to beat you with the stick, your duty is to defend yourself. Therefore, the Arab are to defend, and also they are to gain their territory by all means, peaceful means or by fighting, because the territory was taken from them by the force of arms.
Amin allowed the hijacking of Air France plane to dock in Entebbe, reflecting a defiant stance in global politics. This was an act of aggression, and we don't support it as Ubuntu, Global Connect, but we point it out, did it as an act of defiance. Amin also returned the body of King Mutesa, or Kabaka Mutesa, Sir Edward Mutesa II, who is Uganda's first president. It was Amin who arranged for the return of the body of Sir Edward Mutesa II, Uganda's first president, and accorded it a state funeral. This gesture was a major symbolic reconciliation effort Amin had with the people of Uganda. Let's look at Amin's Pan-African ideals and vision. Amin promoted strong sense of Ugandan ownership, where he wanted to enable the ordinary Ugandan to be the master of his own destiny. Amin wanted Ugandans to own a piece of their country. Today, under Museveni, this is becoming increasingly hard, as much of tools, mechanism, power centers that govern Uganda's economy are into foreign hands. But to Amin, the vision was to enable Ugandans own their country. Amin promised numerous bridges and infrastructure initiatives, and once he joked to give heaven and earth, anchoring his populism vision, as he always joked, laughing and promising Ugandans a better country. Amin's regime was chaotic. It was violent at one point. It was not centrally chaotic in administration, though. We agree. There were pockets of violence here and there, but The regime of Amin was not corrupt and was not centrally chaotic in administration. Civil servants continued to function in many aspects. Infrastructure and institutional presence remained strong. When you compare Amin's regime to those that came after him, some have argued that indeed Amin delivered in many ways that are no longer seen today. He built major towns. He built infrastructure that still plays a major role in the development of Uganda. What I'm sharing today is not a whitewash. We agree, Amin's rule caused terrible suffering. But history is complex. And so was he.
I have only come here for 5 minutes. I have come as a president of the Republic of Uganda, and also I am speaking as a great man who is the conqueror of the British Empire. I wanted to confirm to you, I have liberated my country economically, and I am economically strong, and that is why I said I uprooted the British imperialism from Uganda, and Uganda is now pure Africa. We, Africa, we have been weak because we allow ourselves, our brothers, to go and invite some country. But if the whole country in the continent of Africa can show an excellent example, like our beloved leader, His Majesty the King Hassan of Morocco, assisting President Mobutu when he is invaded. This is some point which Africa can prevent to bring in the other troops from outside.
There is no kingdom, there is no country that has not had their Aminis. But what happens is that whatever good these leaders do, countries, nationals, citizens remember them. We have tried to show you who Amin was. Tonight, we separate myth from fact and explore the side of Amin that took power in a bloodless coup in 1971 and was welcomed by thousands of Ugandans. He came to power without shedding blood. Amin built infrastructures such as roads and hospitals. Talk about Tororo Cement. Referral hospitals in Uganda were built by Amin. Talk about Entebbe, Kampala highway upgrades. Amin expanded Makerere University, included the intake, increased the number of students going to the university, and he offered scholarships for poor Ugandans, even when Amin was not that much classroom educated. When the economy was doing badly, Amin expelled exploitative Asian monopoly in 1972, and he redistributed businesses to Ugandans in what was termed as an economic war. Amin's cabinet was diverse. It had technocrats and intellectuals that came after him. Amin built factories, empowered workers, empowered nurses, and doctors.
I would like to say here that my word which I said, the total liberation of Africa must be put into practice. If we are seriously committed. Because if I am speaking about the northern part of Africa, I am speaking about Sinai, which is a part of Africa, and also Palestine is very important for the history of every mankind who believe in religious, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. You must see that this particular point is taken very serious. Also, what I wanted in southern part of Africa is completely in Rhodesia and South Africa majority rule. But if Rhodesia and South Africa cannot accept immediate independent to the majority rule in these two countries, including Namibia, then we must really face them militarily, because we are capable of fighting against them, of liberating that country. But when I'm speaking about this, I wanted people to know that I am not against whites, but a white must accept that in these countries the majority are black, and therefore it must be majority rule. And if they are to accept majority rule, I am sure those Africans will live with them in peace and harmony. If they cannot give independence as soon as possible by peaceful means in Africa and in the Palestine, especially the Zionists, they must be faced militarily.
It is true, Amin committed mistakes. He was authoritarian. He had some kind of brutality. But still, he made some achievements. Fought corruption, had less debt than Uganda under Museveni. Idi Amin Dada was never perfect. No leader is. But the truth is far more complex than the propaganda paraded. As Africa rises, we must revisit our history and honor those who tried in their own way to put Africa first. Amin tried his level best to put Uganda first, and Africa glorified. Idi Amin Dada was not perfect. No leader is. But Idi Amin Dada left a good legacy worth remembering. This is Kato Mukasa for Ubuntu Global Connect. See you in the next show. I encourage you to subscribe, share, and join Ubuntu Global Connect in writing Africa's story. We must start telling our story.